Gym owners, trying to sell to a cold audience is like getting down on one knee and proposing to someone that doesn't even know your name. It's cringy, it's desperate, and it's just going to hurt your brand. In this video, I'll show you the secret to warming up your cold audience whilst earning their trust and making them eager to buy from you without being pushy, salesy, or desperate. This is the very same tactic that we use to generate our fitness clients' results. This will help gym owners go from pretty much invisible to building a large group of a warm audience that are keen to buy from you and will line up out the door to send you their money. Stick around to the end of the video and you'll learn how to build trust, spark excitement, and turn leads into loyal customers. Plus, I'll tell you about the number one mistake that could ruin your chances of success before you even start. Okay, so we call this buttering them up, as you can see here. But essentially, what this actually means is you have an intro ad that then pushes through to a retargeting ad. So that's basically what this is. Without trying to make it sound too fancy, this is essentially what we're getting at, is we are creating an intro ad and then we're pushing them through to a retargeting ad. And I'm going to show you why we want to do that and how we do that. Okay, so firstly, we're going to need to know when is the best time to actually use this marketing approach, because we don't always need to do this, okay? If we are selling stuff that doesn't really need a lot of explanation or is fairly low ticket or on the cheaper side, then we might not need to rely on the whole intro ad, retargeting ad, because it is slightly more complicated to set up. And if you're selling something that is low ticket, it might not actually be more profitable. So when we're selling things that are simple to understand or fairly cheap, then we can usually just go straight for the sale because the barrier to entry, i.e. the price, is lower. But if we're talking about things that are a little bit more high ticket, so perhaps your gym memberships are quite expensive, perhaps you're selling quite expensive coaching services or one-on-one training sessions or programs or something that you deem to be higher ticket, your sort of premium product, your premium service, this is going to be a great idea to use this marketing tactic to push that out to the masses. Another way of using this is if you have something that is coming out that isn't quite out yet, this is going to be a great approach to use for like a pre-sale launch. So if you've got a new challenge starting or a new program, or you've recently extended your gym and you want to sort of give it a bigger introduction or a bigger launch, and you're basically trying to build hype, this is another really good approach to do that more effectively, because there's stages that the customer goes on through our marketing rather than just seeing one simple ad. So yeah, the use cases for this are things that are slightly more expensive, or if we're trying to build hype for a pre-launch product or service, or anything that we're launching to our customer base. Okay, so what are the goals here? So the goals of this intro ad is to essentially build rapport or trust. That's simply all we're doing here. So I'll show you examples, or I'll tell you about some examples of what a good intro ad could look like. But literally all we're trying to do with these intro ads is just build a rapport with the cold audience. So like I say, the whole point of this is to warm up a cold audience. So this intro ad is going out to a cold audience, okay? The job of the intro ad is to warm them up or build rapport / trust, which is literally the definition of turning a cold audience warm. You just build rapport with them, you build a relationship, build a connection, hopefully build some trust, hopefully build some goodwill. And then once we have done that, and we know that we've done that, then we can push them through to a retargeting ad where we can speak to them slightly differently, because we know that they are aware of us or they understand what our product is. Hopefully they trust us. Hopefully they understand that what we are providing is of value, and then we can speak to those people slightly differently. So one thing that we should make clear is this intro ad, the goal of this intro ad is not to make money, okay? Profit is not the goal here. The goal is to build rapport and trust, okay? So if we can even just break even with these intro ads, that would be great. But even if we don't, we shouldn't worry too much about that, because of the scale of gains that we can get through the retargeting, okay? And hopefully, and what we should be able to do is actually generate a profit, which is going to not only make the retargeting ads profitable, but will also get us out of the red of the intro ad. So we can see here in the retargeting ad, the goal here is to convert leads at a lower cost. Okay, so if we just went and did this retargeting ad and we were pushing whatever products we're trying to push in the retargeting ad out straight to a cold audience, it might be harder for us to actually convert a very profitable cost per lead. So the whole point of us taking them through this two-stage marketing approach is to lower that cost per lead in the retargeting ads. Okay, so that's the whole point of it. So let's build out some examples of what this could look like, just so we can get a slightly better understanding of the use cases of an intro ad. Okay, so I've just built out a very simple diagram just so we can start writing examples out. So let's say, for example, we are running a new challenge, okay, or some sort of new program. So this could be a 8 to 12 week challenge, which is designed to make you burn fat, get healthier, whatever it may be. Perhaps this is an entire sort of workout routine, and I'm talking workout plans along with nutrition plans, along with sort of maybe bi-weekly coaching calls, whatever it may be. It's essentially a program that people are going to have to sign up for a long time, and it's going to be a fairly large upfront cost. I'm talking sort of 500, 600, 700, even £1,000 for a duration of time, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month program that you're selling. Okay, obviously the pricing is completely up to you, but that's the example here. It's basically some extended time program that's going to cost quite a lot for the people that are buying it upfront. So the intro ad could be basically introducing this program. Okay, so this could be purely informational. So perhaps we're talking about when it starts, who we are and why we're delivering it, and sort of understand what's going to go into it. So what's going to be expected of them, or what's going to be expected of the customer before they buy, so they know what they're getting themselves into. And then we could also go through what are the benefits that they're going to receive by actually completing this course to its entirety, and also talk about the problems that we are going to solve by them taking this course. Okay, so hopefully the people that are entering the program or entering the challenge, maybe they feel a bit self-conscious, they're looking to lose body fat. We could highlight that as a problem that we're solving, and we could say, by the end of the 6 weeks or the 8 weeks or the 12 weeks or the 24 weeks, we will have solved that problem for you. But not only that, we will have gotten you to your goal of insert desired weight here, or insert desired sort of feeling or emotion here. So the goal of the intro ad as a program might not be self-explanatory to some people, is we're trying to be informational. Okay, so perhaps these ads are informational, perhaps they are you telling people about the benefits of them taking this program or doing this program, and also talking about the problems that we solve, like we just mentioned. It is also going to allow you to get your face out there. Okay, so it's a bit of an introduction to you, and hopefully if you do this well, people will relate your face and just your personal brand to the challenge. Okay, so then when we funnel them through to the retargeting ad, then they're going to be already familiar with who you are, what the program is about, because they remember seeing it from the intro ad. And then we can focus more on trying to actually convert them and create that desire for them to fill out the lead form or pay online, or whatever the conversion event may be. So if we are then moving on to the retargeting ad, this could then be social proof. This could be results from the last program, customer reviews / before and afters. Perhaps this could be an introduction of a guarantee. Maybe you have some sort of money back guarantee, which is going to mean if you don't burn a certain amount of calories per session, or if you don't lose a certain amount of weight or something like that, then you get your money back. So here we're building interest. Okay, we're grabbing attention, we're building interest, and here we're sort of creating that desire for them to actually take action. Okay, so by them actually seeing social proof of people achieving the goals that they want to achieve, or solving the problems that they currently have. And we can see that this program does genuinely get results, because the last one got 50 people results, or 30 people, or 20 people results. And then we can also see some reviews or some before and afters, very emotionally evoking. Okay, particularly things like before and afters, if we can show a customer someone like them with the problems that they have right now, and we can see that that person has gone through the transformation that they also want to go through, then that's going to emotionally appeal to them far more than you just basically saying like, oh, we solved this problem and we'll get you to this goal. That will work, but if we can do that on top of a really compelling set of before and after pictures of clients that are similar to them, then it's going to be hard for them to actually not take action, because we're touching their pain points, we're touching on their goals, and we're really giving them the belief that they can solve their problem and reach their goals. And that's just like the perfect mix to generate some serious urgency within the audience, within the warm audience that we're targeting in these retargeting ads. And then we might also want to sweeten the offer by sort of introducing some sort of guarantee. So like I say, some sort of money back guarantee or some sort of guarantee of a particular result. If not, then maybe they get the next one discounted, or I don't know, however you want to structure that. But this could be a good time to sort of add an additional incentive to the people that you already know are somewhat interested in this intro ad. Okay, and then obviously that's going to turn into cash, but not just cash, for a lower price. Okay, so your CPL will be lower as the audience is warm. Okay, and we're not wasting marketing budget on audiences that have no idea who we are. These people, we know that they are these people, we know that they know who we are, what the program is about, what the service is about, and so on. So hopefully with this example of sort of a rollout of a program or a challenge or a particular set of time rolling out some sort of service, we can see the approach here. Okay, so the first stage, we are, let's actually write this out here. So I've just quickly written out the goals here, or basically what the job is of each stage. So you can see in the yellow, the intro ad, we are grabbing attention and generating an interest in things that we are rolling out, or in the thing that we are rolling out. So that's all we're doing here, is we're trying to grab attention and generate interest. So we know that if people aren't interested in that ad, then they simply just aren't interested in what we are trying to push. And that means that we're not going to then bother spending more money on that person to try and sell them, because we know that they're just not interested. So this is almost like a qualification. Okay, if people meet a certain criteria when it comes to the intro ad, then they qualify to go through to the retargeting. But it means that we're not wasting time on unqualified leads, because they have to meet a certain criteria for us to be able to start retargeting them. And then in the retargeting ads, we are only targeting the people we know have a little interest in the intro ad. Okay, maybe they're not obsessed with it. Some people are going to be warmer than others, but we know that they have at least some sort of interest in what we were speaking about in our intro ad. And then these are warm, so they will convert at a lower price, or it's going to be easier for us to convert them. So hopefully we start to understand sort of the process and why we're doing this, okay, and the benefits of it. And hopefully you can now see why this is going to be really effective for things like a pre-launch to hype up something that you're about to put to market, or something that is slightly higher ticket. Now, another reason why we might do this is, say you have something called a unique mechanism. Okay, so this is basically some sort of service or some sort of medium of fitness that is perhaps not that mainstream. Okay, so everyone knows what like just general cardio is, or just going to the gym and doing HIIT sessions are. People, that's common knowledge now. People understand what HIIT is, but you know, there's always new trends when it comes to fitness, okay? And once it was spin, and now it seems to be sort of like high rocks, CrossFit, hybrid athlete kind of thing. That seems to be sort of the trend within the fitness industry right now, is high rocks and hybrid athletes and people that are strong and have good cardio and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a gym that's like capitalizing on that trend, which I don't think is a bad idea, but perhaps to some people, they don't really understand what a high rocks is. Okay, perhaps they've heard it, but they don't actually know what goes into it. So the job of your intro ad is to basically explain what a high rocks is, why it's going to be beneficial for everyone to start training for a high rocks, and how it makes you ready for anything, and you'll be healthier than ever before, and you'll be the most functional sort of athlete that you possibly can be. And that's going to be more informational, and it's also getting your face out there. So it's a nice video of you explaining why high rocks is good and how you're the best person to deliver it to the person. And then once people seeing that ad meet a certain criteria, then our second ad will be perhaps us speaking to a member of our gym who's also gone through this high rocks training that we're advertising, and they basically say, it's one of the best things I've ever done. I went from here to here. I had this big problem that was solved, and not only that, but I had this big goal when I first came here, and now I've smashed that, and I keep on making progress, and it's the best investment I've ever made in my life. That would be sort of the two-stage approach that we could take to you introducing your unique mechanism, which is going to be something that's maybe not that mainstream in terms of how you get people to be fitter. Okay, so if you've got something that's not really mainstream and you think that most people need a little bit of education on before they actually buy it, then this is also going to be a really good approach for that. Okay, so I've sort of given you some ideas on the contents of an intro ad and the contents of a retargeting ad, but now let's sort of get into sort of real life examples here. So here I've just basically given you some examples of what an intro ad could look like. Okay, so this could be a video ad, it could be a lead magnet, and it could be, don't know why that's underlined, could be an organic channel. So basically this blue box in the middle is us setting some sort of criteria that these people, no matter what the intro ad format may be, we're setting a criteria that people need to reach for us to be able to say that this person has qualified from a cold audience, someone who's cold audience member to a warm one. So for video ads, this might be, now again, we sort of explained this could be you explaining what the program is, and we can make the qualification sort of the bar for them to qualify from cold to warm to be 50% watch time or 30% watch time, depending on how long the video is and what's being said within it. But we know that people that have watched a certain amount of our video ad now qualify to be a warm audience member, okay? Because especially if we're talking about things where we're trying to educate people on what it is that we're actually promoting, and we are doing that via a video ad, then we need to know that someone has watched at least a good amount of that video for them to genuinely understand what's going on, okay? If we just take like clicks or impressions and then we push them through to a warm audience retargeting ad campaign, then it's going to be weird messaging for them, because they're going to feel like this person is pushing an ad to me and speaking to me in a way where I'm supposed to know who they are, or like I'm supposed to know what this is. And to be honest, people aren't actually going to have that thought process. They're just going to be confused, and instead of genuinely thinking about why that's actually happening, they'll just skip, because as soon as you start to confuse someone, they'll lose interest. So that won't be like a actual thought process that people will go through, but as soon as you start to speak about things that people aren't really understanding, then they'll just move on. Okay, simple as that. So we need to make sure that we are setting a suitable amount of time for people to have watched our intro ad for them to then qualify through to a warm audience campaign. So a lead magnet, so if we don't know what that is, essentially that's going to be some sort of free resource that we are pushing through our ads to provide value to this cold audience. And then the goal of a lead magnet is to basically get someone through the door, get someone into your world, into your sphere of sort of business, and you provide them value with a free resource that then they can take away, they can action whatever it is that free resource is, they get value from it, they now have trust in you because you've already provided value to them for free, and now they can be deemed as someone who is warm. Okay, so basically all this is someone who has downloaded Lead Magnet, okay, and hopefully they will then get added to some sort of mailing list that you have, and then you can just push that mailing list through to your retargeting campaign. And we now know that every single person that we are hitting in this retargeting campaign has downloaded our lead magnet. They have already got value from us, or at least looked at the ad enough to think, okay, I'll download it. Maybe they haven't even looked, but you know, we can't start to know if people have actually actioned the lead magnet. But just the fact that they have given us their email address and that they are interested enough in us to pass over their contact information to get the free resource is enough for us to say, okay, this person now qualifies for a retargeting campaign. And then finally, if we're looking at organic channels, so this is anything from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of these sort of channels where we're posting consistently, we can look at followers or subscribers if we're on YouTube. We could also do likes in the last 30 days. You could even do likes in the last 3 days. Okay, now depending on how big your channel is and what sort of audience you've got and how much traffic you've actually got going through these channels, then you can limit these days. Okay, if you've got a big audience and you have the numbers to be able to say likes in the last 3 days, or watches in the last 3 days, or follows in the last 3 days, then that is going to be a super warm audience, because these people have literally followed you within the last 3 days, so you're very front of mind for them. Okay, whereas if someone followed you or liked your post 30 days ago, that's a lot more time for them to sort of carry on doom scrolling, carry on looking at all this other short form stuff, get their mind and get distracted and essentially forget about you. So the smaller that we can make this, the better. But of course, we need to be realistic with the amount of traffic that we actually have coming through these channels, and make a sensible decision in terms of what that criteria is going to be to sort of understand or to qualify someone as going from cold to warm. So hopefully you can see now the benefit of doing this and how we can actually do it. And there's not one way of doing it. So this should also highlight to you the value of having things like lead magnets, because it allows us to basically turn more of a cold audience warm and market to them at a cheaper cost. It also shows the value of staying consistent and putting a lot of time and effort into organic channels like Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn, because the more value that we can push out through those channels and the more trust that we can build with the people that are following us on those channels, the warmer those people are going to be. So then when it comes time to push out the retargeting campaign and we push this mailing list or this list of followers or this list of people who have engaged with us in the last 90 days or 7 days or 3 days, when they get pushed through the retargeting campaign, they're going to be really, really warm, which is going to you're just going to see your cost per lead drop completely, because people are going to see your ad and they already have this goodwill built up inside of them when they see you. Okay, your face is your brand, and if your face is in all of these things, when they see it again, they just relate all of the value that you've previously given to them to your face, and they just put all of that together. So I hope you can see sort of the customer journey that we're taking people on by using this whole intro ad, retargeting ad structure. Now, I did say that there was one mistake that you need to be careful of, and this is it. This blue box here in the middle, these are extremely crucial, okay? What we need to be making sure that we're doing is setting appropriate conditions for us to be able to deem a cold audience or a cold audience member has gone from cold to warm, okay? So there's two things to look out for here. So not enough exposure to you, and a cold audience won't actually turn warm. So say that we are saying that people who have only watched 10% or 5% of a video ad, they're not actually warm yet, okay? They've just not scrolled that quickly past your video. So we need to set an appropriate amount of time to actually turn a cold audience warm, because as soon as you start putting a cold audience through a warm campaign, that just causes confusion, people will skip, and you won't actually get those conversions. On the flip side of that, what we don't want to be doing is spending too much time trying to warm up an already warm audience, okay? There's a certain point where you sort of get a point of negligible return, and once you get to that point and you try and carry on warming up that lead anymore, okay, sure, that might do your business some good, but it's going to cost a lot more money to get that person even warmer when they're already at a point where they just need to go through the retargeting campaign and they will convert. So this is going to take some trial and error, and you're going to have to run tests on this, and that will take time, but we need to make sure that the parameters that we are setting to sort of qualify a cold, sort of anyone that's viewing our ad to go from cold to warm needs to be set properly. This can be a massive issue when you're approaching this campaign, is you don't have the right parameters or the right qualification levels set in terms of when people turn warm. So really do keep that in mind when you're doing this. But like I say, if you've got a big sort of program coming up, or you're launching something new, or your service in general is just higher ticket and it's a bit more expensive, and you're not really seeing many results with Facebook ads or Google ads or anything like that, and you're simply just asking for the sale straight away, then this can be a really sort of good way of getting around that. And what you're doing is essentially taking your leads or your audience through a two-step process where you're qualifying them before you actually ask to sell, and that's probably going to work out a lot better for you. So thank you for getting to the end of the video. Hopefully that was valuable to you. Hopefully you'll start implementing the teachings of this video and start seeing lower cost per lead and just better business margins. Now, if you are in the fitness industry, so if you're a gym owner, online coach, fitness facility owner, and you do find yourself with the issue of customer acquisition and you're unable to predictably bring in new customers and you're unable to systemize it, then we do have a service that is going to help you out with that. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below. That's going to take you to a landing page that has a video of me explaining how we might be able to help you out with this problem. Now that's only going to be for a select few of you, so for those of you that are interested, then the link is down there, but if not, I'm glad you made it to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.